Today's video is in the continuation of our Apex trigger scenarios. In today's video, we will be discussing another scenario that was asked in one of the interview as well that you folks only have shared on the YouTube channel. So we will be seeing how you can implement this particular trigger in your org. Again, in case you folks have encountered any other trigger scenarios in your interview and you want to cover that scenarios in my playlist, do let me know in the comment section because this series will be ongoing. Whatever the scenarios that you will be putting up in the comment section, and if I understand that this is a kind of a complex scenario and it's a frequently asked scenario, I will definitely make the video on that scenario as well. Now, with that understanding, let's get started with the scenario for today. But before that, in case you folks like to have one-to-one connect with me or want to download LWC Bootcamp or the admin notes or the interview guide, do check out this top mate link. And in case you want to join the community where the like-minded people do discuss the Salesforce queries, so please join this Telegram group as well. You will get the links of both in the video description. You can also scan the QR and get the particular group, or you can navigate to the top mate as well. Now, what is the scenario for today? Today's scenario here is to prevent the creation of duplicate contact. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to write down a trigger with the help of which we can prevent the user to create the duplicate contact. But the key or the crux here is, here we have to identify the duplicate based on the two fields. Typically, we identify the duplicate either based on the email or a phone number, a single field. But in this scenario, they have increased the complexity and they are asking to identify the unique record based on email and phone number. If the two contacts have the same email address and phone number, we have to display an error message. Duplicate contacts are not allowed. Most of you think that can we meet this particular requirement using out of the box tool that Salesforce do offer. If you do have that thought, you are correct. Please let me know what is the tool that you are thinking about with the help of which we can meet this requirement. Again, here we are learning the triggers. That's why I am implementing the trigger. But without writing down the trigger also, we can meet this particular user requirement. So do let me know what is the out of the box tool that Salesforce help, with the help of which you can identify the duplicate contacts based on multiple fields. So like we always do, whenever we solve any trigger question, we try to answer these four questions so that we will get the clarity what kind of trigger that we have to write and what different events that we have to consider. So the first question here is, on which object the user is performing the operation. So if I read the problem statement clearly states that the user have to perform the operation on the contact object. Next question here is, what type of operation that user is performing, whether the insert, update, delete or undelete. In this problem statement, there's a clear mention of creation of duplicate contact. So I can say that here the user will be performing the insert operation. Now, in the case of insert operation, and moreover, we have to do the validation here, where we have to go and prevent the user, and with that error message, we have to do that. So whenever we have to do the validation, what kind of trigger will go for? Again, if you already know, do let me know again in the comment section what type of trigger that you will go for here whenever we do have the validation. In case you guys don't have the clarity, do check out the part 1 of this video where I have explained the theory of the Apex triggers in very detail with multiple examples. That part will help you to understand whether to go with the before trigger or the after trigger. So in this scenario, we will go for the before trigger. Again, the same thing, whenever we do have the event, that is the before insert event, what kind of context variables will be available to us? In what context variables the data will be available? Think about it. Again, if you guys have following the series, you might already know because I have iterated this multiple times in the past. In the case of insert, the data will only be available in the trigger.new variable. It will not be available in the trigger.old variable. I hope this part is clear to you. Whenever you are working with the insert operation in the trigger, the data will only be available in the trigger.new. So the applicable event here will be the before insert event. This is the event with the help of which we will go and build our trigger logic. So without further delay, now we can get started by writing down this trigger. So let me go and bring the VS Code where we will go and create our trigger. So Control Shift P. I am creating the Apex trigger. My trigger will be on the contact trigger. So here I am putting contact trigger to prevent duplicate. Right, and this trigger I am creating, it is on the contact object, and as I said, the event that I need to use here will be the before insert event only. So I'll be using the before insert event. Now, like we always do, we try to follow all the good practices. So the first good practice, we have to make sure that we are appropriately using the context variables here. So here I am checking if trigger dot is before and trigger dot is insert. If that is the case, then and then only my business logic should execute. So here what I am doing, I am creating the handler here. So creating the Apex class. Let me name that handler as the trigger to prevent duplicate handler, for example. Okay, and I will go and invoke this handler. In this handler, I am creating one method with the name of before insert. So here I'll be putting public static void before insert. And as I said, whenever we are performing the insert operation, what kind of data that I do have to in which context variable I do have the data, that is the trigger dot new context variable. So I am passing that data here and I am accepting that data here. So as I am passing the trigger dot new, the data type of the trigger dot new is the list. So here I am putting the list. Now my trigger, it is available on the contact object. So here I'll be putting the contact, and you can give any variable name. Here I am giving the variable name as new contact list. Now what is my use case? I have to go and identify the duplicates based on the email and the phone number. So what I am doing here is the very first step that I will do. I will go and collect email and phone number from let me go and put up here from contact list. So this is the place where I will go and collect my email address and my email and the phone number. And what I will do, I will store these details into two separate collection and store this in two separate collection. So let me go and define my collections here. First collection here is the email set to store the emails. Another collection here is the phone set to store the phone. And now what I am doing here is I am started iterating over my contact list. So let me go and do that for contact con of new contact list. So very first thing, I need to check whether the email address is blank or not, because I want to consider only those records which have the valid value. So here I am putting my check if con.email, the way we can check easily is string dot is not blank, and here I am checking for the con.email is not blank. In case this is not blank, then what I am doing in my set, I am adding the email address. Same thing I am checking for the phone number as well. So here I go and put if the string dot is not blank, I am checking for the phone here con dot phone. If my phone number is not blank, then what I am doing here is in my phone set, I am adding here the con dot phone as well. So this is how what I have done. I have created the two sets, and in my set I have added the data. Now what I will do as a part of next step, I will go and query the existing records, right, which contains the email and the phone number. Again, the IntelliSense and the Agentforce is too smart to go and print it out. What is the next step that we have to do? So let's go and do that. So here I'll be putting the query existing records with matching email and the phone number. So let me go and do that. So how I can do that? I'll be putting here the list of contact. Here I'll be putting the exist, or what I will do, let's follow another good practice. Let's go and write down the for SQL query for contact con of, in the bracket here I'll be putting select, let's say ID comma email comma phone from contact where the email is available in the email set. Whenever we have to check for more than one value, we always go with the in clause. So here I am going for the in clause because I need to check for the multiple emails here. And or let's take an example of or, because either the email or the phone number, I need to get all the contacts. So here I'll be putting query existing records with matching email or phone, because that will be more logical. So here I'll be putting for or phone in phone set. Okay, now my major concern here is this time I have to identify the duplicates based on the combination of I have to go and identify. Let me put down the problem statement so that we can be all on the same page. Identify duplicate contact based on email and the phone combination. In case that combination is available, I need to go and identify that particular contact as the duplicate contact. So what I am doing here is I'll be considering only those contacts which is having both the value. Okay, after my query, so let me go and do that, because here I am putting the or condition. So there might be few contacts which is either having the email or the phone, but in my scenario, I need to consider only those contacts which is having the value for both. So what I am doing here is, here I'll be checking if again the string is not blank, that is the con dot email, and string is not blank con dot phone. In case that condition is satisfied, I have to consider only those records here. And if that condition has been satisfied, what all records that I will get? Okay, what I will do, because I have to store these details into the map and I want to create my own key here with the combination of the email and the phone number. What I want to do, I have to store these details into the map. So let me go and define one map here, map of, let's say, string comma ID. Okay, in this map, we will go and store the existing phone and email. So here I am naming that map as an existing phone and email map is equal to new map of ID comma string. Okay, in this map, I will go and prepare my key something like this. So here I'll be putting the string key is equal to con dot email plus I am putting a hyphen plus con dot phone, because this is my key here. This must be unique, right? So I am preparing my unique key here by concatenating the two different fields which are separated by the hyphen. Another thing that I need to take care here is when I am concatenating, I need to make sure that the email are available in one single case, because email is kind of a text field, right? Which can be in a different cases as well. Sometimes people do put the email in the capital case or in the lower case. So what I will do while preparing my email as a key, I will convert this email into the one single case, that is the lowercase. Now my email address will always be available in the lowercase. Phone, it's generally numeric with the symbol, so that's completely okay. But email is something, it's a plain text field. That's why I'm converting it into the key. Now my key is ready. What I will do, I will add my key and the ID into the map. So this is my map in which I am adding the key, comma, contact ID. Now my map is ready, which is having all the combinations of existing phone number and the email address. Right? I hope this part is clear. Now only part that is pending now is to validate the records that we are currently processing, which is available in this map or not. There's another thing that we have to validate, whether the records that we are processing, that record itself can have the duplicate value. This is the scenario that typically we always ignore, but we will consider that scenario as well in this implementation. So here I am putting validate the records in trigger.new to compare with themselves and also the existing map. So that's what we have to do here. So I started iterating over the same contact list one more time. that we have done. So here again I am putting for contact con of new contact list. And the very first thing that again I'll be checking here is if both of them are not blank. Let me copy this from here and I am putting it here. Then I go and write down the same thing again and again. If both of them are not there, then and then only my logic should continue, right? Otherwise, it is not logical to go and continue my logic. Here also, I am preparing my key based on the contact like I have done here, because this is the key that I need to compare with this map, right? Correct. Again, don't get confused. My previous key was from the SOQL. I am preparing another key based on the inputs that I am getting. So here again, I am preparing my key. So here I'll be putting string key is equal to con.email. Again, I am converting it into the lowercase plus hyphen plus con dot 4. Okay, now my key is ready. What I will do and check, I will check whether this key is already available in my existing map. Okay, so that is my first check. So here, how to check whether the key is already available in the map or not, which collection method we do use, do let me know again in the comment section if you know the answer for this. What I need to do, I need to check whether the key is available in the map or not. It's a very common requirement that we always check. Okay, to check for the key in the map, and the method that I'll be using, it's a very common method. I hope you already know that. Do let me know in the comment section. So here I'll be checking if this map dot contains key. The method that I was talking about is the contains key, and what I am checking here is for this key. If that is present, then what I have to do, I have to go and give the error message that the email and the phone combination is already exist. So here I am throwing the error message, duplicate email and the phone combination is not allowed. Now, another thing that I have to also check here is, here I'll be putting my else if. Let me first put down the comment what I need to check here. So here, what is another thing that I need to check, whether the check, I need to also go and check the duplicates are present in current batch or not. If the duplicates are present in the current batch, then also I have to go and throw the error. So what I will do here, how I can validate whether the duplicates are present in the current batch or not. So whatever the key that I am getting here, I will store that key into a set so that I can easily identify whether that set have the key already present or not. So try to understand how I am doing this. Okay, so let me go and first complete this syntax. I will come back to this block one more time, but before that, let me go and define another set here. So let me go and define that set on the top only, because I do prefer to define all the collections at one place. It's completely your choice how you want to do it. So here I am putting the set of string and I am giving the set as the current batch key is equal to new set of string, right? So whatever the current batch keys which are available, right? What I am doing, in case nothing is, in case we are not getting any error, then in the else part, I am simply adding the key here. In case we are not getting any error, neither this one or not this one, I'll be adding that key here. So this is the part that you have to remember. What the way I am writing down here is whatever the records that I am processing, if everything goes good, I am simply adding that record into my current batch key. And what condition I will check here, whether in my current batch key already contains the key that I am processing. If it is already available, then again I have to give the similar error message. So let me go and get rid of this, right? And what I am doing here is I am again printing the same error message here as well. There's an additional bracket. Let me go and remove it. Try to understand what I have done. Let me repeat it one more time. First, I have iterated over my contact list where I have collected the email and the phone number into the collection. After that, whatever the emails and the phone numbers that I am getting, I am making the queries on my record. Again, in my query, one key thing that I have done here is here I have used the org. So anywhere in my org, whether that email or phone number has been used, I am getting all those records here. Now, once I have done that, I am checking because I need to look for the combination of email and phone. Here I am checking whether that combination is not null. If it is not null, I have prepared my key and I have added my key into the map along with the ID. Then I started processing my records. While processing the records, again, for my current batch, I have created the key the same way I have tested it before. And then I am checking whether that key is available in this map or not. If the key is available in that map, I am throwing an error message. In case the key is not available, that means it is not already available, but I am also checking for the possibility whether the user is populating the same email address and the phone number into the batch that we are currently processing. So what I am doing here is I have defined one set here. In that set, whatever the keys that I have already processed, I am adding that key here. Okay, so in the last, if everything has been processed, whatever the keys that I am processing, I am adding that key here. So next time, whenever I am writing down my logic, I will check whether that key is already available in the batch. That means that key is already processed. If again that is the case, I am throwing an error message. So this part is typically bit critical to understand on the first go, but I hope you now got the idea why I am doing this. I am simply checking here whether my current batch is already processed or not. If that is already processed, here I am giving the error message. Right, let's go and deploy this and we will check it out whether it is working as expected or not. So let me go and deploy this. Okay, I'm getting an error. What is that error? Error is coming at line number 8. Let me go here. It is string comma ID. Okay, I have defined this in the wrong sequence. It should be string comma ID, right? What was the other error? Okay, let's try to deploy this one more time. In case it fails, we will see the other error as well. The method does not exist or incorrect signature. At line number 23, I am getting that error. Okay, the error is because whenever we are adding entry into the map, we don't use the add method, but we use the put method. So it was a typo from me. So I have corrected that as well. Now let me go and deploy this one more time. So my code is deployed successfully. Now let me go and try to deploy the trigger as well. And then we will go and do the quick testing, whether it is working as expected or not. So for example, this is the contact available in my org. Let me go and try to create the duplicate contact. You can go and create the contact from here, or you can also try to clone the contact as well. It's one and the same thing because it will also go and create the contact. I need to make sure that the contact that I am using for the testing, it is having the both email address and the phone number that I'll be cloning. So here I go and clone that phone number. So here let me go and try to change the details. So here I am putting the name as Ankit Jain. I am not changing the email address and the phone number. Let's see whether we are getting the error here or not. So here if I go and click on save, here you can see that I am getting the same error message that we are prompting duplicate email and the phone combination is not allowed. This is the same error message that we are throwing from here, and we are getting that error message as well. I hope you got the learning from this video. If yes, I do have another assignment for you to work on, because many times in my comment section, I do get the request to share the assignment based on the learning. So here is the assignment that you have to work on. If you actually understood that concept, I am confident that you can go and implement this assignment. What is this assignment? You have to write down a trigger to validate the creation of the duplicate lead based on the combination of last name and the email. If the lead is available with the same last name and email, then you have to display the error message, duplicate leads are not allowed. This is what you have to do. Try as an assignment. Like I always say, if you are a newbie in doing the triggers, always try to answer these 4 questions so that you are already taking one step correct in writing down the trigger. So what is this first question? On what object the user will be performing the operation? In this scenario, the answer is lead. What type of operation that user will be performing? Here the answer is insert, because The problem statement states that here the operation needs to be the create operation. Another one here is the type of a trigger. As we have to perform the validation, definitely it's going to be the before trigger. And just now we discussed, whenever we are performing the insert operation, the context variable that will be available is the trigger dot new context variable. So this leads to a conclusion that we will be using the event that is the before insert event. I hope you folks found this video helpful and this scenario helpful as well. Again, want to wish you best of luck for your interview preparation. See you again in the next video. Thank you. Have a good time.